They don't have any vision. Ooh, okay, Light Binding does come on in. Peacemaker down as well as he's just dead.
Trying to set up an engage or a pick is so challenging.
Oh, Keria going to be able to find a bit of a combo. There's the spear to land as well. Beryl is just dead.
So,
yeah. You might think that sign at the back says, right, no, it says T1, and this says Showmaker might be dead. He does manage to get the Everfrost down, and Faker's going to take a lot of damage. Super Mega Death Rocket comes through. Oh, but the ace in the hole is going to secure it. Canyon trying to lock down Faker, but no, he just walks away. Not even close, baby.
Caitlyn Lux has been a powerful bot lane duo for many years now, thanks to their incredible laning dominance and pick potential. Both of them offer a ton of long-range poke, with Caitlyn Q and Lux E as their basic damage abilities, and both of their ults are able to assassinate opponents from a screen away. But their most terrifying combo has to be the Chain CC with Lux's Light Binding into Caitlyn's Yordle Snap Trap. If Lux lands her Q, and Caitlyn is nearby to place a trap on the snared opponent, it is almost certainly a kill. And as the meta changes year after year, there has been only one bot lane duo that plays Caitlyn Lux consistently, and that is Guma and Keria, the bot lane duo of T1. Without a doubt the best Caitlyn Lux players in the world. Throughout their careers, Guma has a 22-3 record on Caitlyn, and Keria has a 13-3 record on Lux. And while playing together, they have a 9-1 record with the Caitlyn Lux duo. So in this video, we will examine how T1 crushes their opponents with Caitlyn Lux. Caitlyn Lux is arguably the bot lane duo with the most push priority. With their massive range, they can outshove any opponent and get turret plates in the early game. In some games, T1 even gets bot tower as early as 7.5 minutes, but it relies greatly on coordination with Owner and Faker. In Game 3 of T1 vs KT in the regular split, T1 drafted a poke comp not just with Caitlyn Lux, but also Nidalee and Corki. As the game starts, we see T1 looking to gain vision of KT's right side jungle. Owner places a ward at T1's blue side entrance to prevent KT's invade, and then heads over to start at KT's blue buff. KT is painfully aware that T1 is starting at their blue, which will allow Owner to vertically jungle and permanently stay close to bot lane to help Guma and Keria bully KT and get turret plates. Despite knowing this, KT forfeits their blue side jungle to not get caught. Keria even starts with Sweeper to ensure that KT does not know what T1 are up to. And sensing no resistance from KT, Vigor and Zayas go back to lane. KT are giving T1 everything they want, and they do a default start, with P06 starting at his red. Despite reasonably inferring that T1 is starting at blue, Deft still checks whether Owner started there. But he promptly eats a Lux E and Caitlyn Q even before lane begins. Deft is already chugging a health potion as he walks to lane. Immediately, Guma and Keria look to play as aggressive as possible, and they bully Deft, causing him to miss even the second melee minion. This is because Beryl is rather useless as a level 1 Nautilus. As P06 places his Ivern passive on camps, Owner takes advantage of this and clears P06 wolves in the meantime. One critical aspect of laning as Caitlyn Lux that T1 does very well is controlling how fast they shove the wave. Notice that Keria is not touching the wave, but rather posturing aggressively to zone Deft and Beryl away from the wave. This way, KT are zoned so far that they can't even receive XP, let alone farm. While Deft and Beryl are zoned from bot wave, Deft tries to fight Owner over Gromp. But Keria then comes over, and together, Owner and Keria zone Deft even further from bot wave. Meanwhile, P06 is minding his own business and full clearing on Ivern. Guma is now crashing the bot wave, but Deft is nowhere close to farm it. It may seem like Owner is not using his time well since he's not full clearing on Nidalee. But as a team, T1's biggest goal right now is denying farm from Deft, and he is still level 1 to Guma's level 3. Owner and Keria continue to zone Deft as the next wave arrives, and it's Beryl who is stuck under tower collecting the scraps. While his bot lane can't play the game, Pyosik is nowhere close to help, and takes this time to gank mid instead. After zoning depth for some time, and the wave is about to completely be wiped by the turret, T1 looks to dive Beryl, who was cornered due to Caitlyn's trap. But he flashes away from Lux binding, to avoid the inevitable death from Caitlyn Lux chain CC. And now, Deft finally got his second CS while Guma has 24, and Owner finally calls off the dive because Pyosik is on his way bot, seen after blowing Faker's flash mid. By now, 4 waves have arrived, and Guma got 24 out of 25 CS, while Deft only has 6. As Owner goes back into his jungle, he clears red into Scuttlecrab into Raptors, and then looks for a dive bot once again. This is called vertical jungling, and it is a classic T1 strategy to get bot lane ahead. Guma and Keria push bot wave at just the right pace. The Owner arrives when bot wave is crashing. Owner immediately jumps into bot lane to intercept the minion wave right in front of Deft and Beryl. And now, KT are checkmated because whatever they do, they will come out worse. Beryl shouldn't hook Owner because Owner can easily go into Cougar form and jump away from the hook. And secondly, even if Beryl does land the hook, Deft doesn't want to chase Owner, because that would mean losing farm that Guma and Keria are crashing right now. So the best option is to not engage and farm as much as possible from the crashing wave. But this also runs into a problem of being vulnerable to T1's dive. If Keria lands a Lux binding, Guma can easily follow up with Trap Headshot Q, and Owner can guarantee a spear followed by burst in Cougar form. This situation seems like inevitable death for Deft or Beryl. Keria lands his E on Deft, but once he misses Lux Q, Owner jumps away and calls off the dive. But Guma is still relentlessly poking Deft and making it as hard as possible for him to farm under tower. And once again, Owner is vertically jungling and he makes his way to KT's wolves as they spawn. And it works because T1 has lane prio both mid and bot. And Pyosik is just an Ivern who cannot 1v1 Nidalee. Like clockwork, whenever T1's wave crashes into KT's turret, Owner is nearby, ready for a possible dive. This time, however, Pyosik is ready to defend the dive, so T1 calls it off, and Owner continues to farm, widening the jungle CS gap. Shortly after, Beryl gets restless and he hooks Keria, but Deft simply doesn't have the burst to kill Keria. Instead, Beryl now is in point blank range of Lux Q, and Keria lands a snare to get a Caitlyn Lux assassination combo. Just 8.5 minutes into the game, T1 gets KT's bot turret, and of course, Owner is around to witness it. This aggressive turret plate farming strategy continues as T1 has taken all 3 outer towers by 18 minutes, while KT has taken none. And this gives T1 a 4k gold lead, 3k of which are from turrets. And if you are enjoying these T1 breakdowns, please hit the like and subscribe button for more. During the mid-game, Caitlyn and Lux suffer a power trough, and they often fall behind due to their fragility as poke champions. But T1 navigates the mid-game very well, since they know how to position safely, poke patiently, and strike at the right moment. In this clip, T1 and Damwon are looking to fight at Dragon, but with Rift Herald, T1 are able to force Damwon to defend their turret. This allows T1 to get river prio first. Although Keria gets tagged by the zap, he makes the most out of this bad situation by landing a Q onto Showmaker, flashing, and poking him down with Lux ult. And with their Caitlyn Lux poke comp, T1 makes the conscious decision to not group at Dragon, but rather have Faker, Guma, and Keria retreat into their jungle, while Zeus and Owner start Dragon. With this setup, Guma and Keria can hit Dragon or zone Damwon while staying safe. Damwon realizes how much poke they would take if they walk to Dragon, so they back off, giving T1 a free Dragon thanks to their excellent positioning. In this dragon fight against Gen G, T1 again has the poke comp with Caitlyn and Lux, while Gen G has heavy engage with Gragas, Wukong, and Ahri. So to play to the win conditions, T1 allows Gen G to start dragon so they can poke from afar and keep tabs on Gen G's engaged champions. Notice that nobody on T1 is willing to walk beyond the Caitlyn traps, and Gen G knows this, so they leash dragon back into the pit for Peanut to hit it. Now, T1 are in a rough position. Gen G are about to secure dragon, so T1 has to pull the trigger and cross the line soon. Faker makes his way into the dragon pit, and Owner smites dragon too early, allowing Peanut to secure dragon for Gen G. But even with a 2v2 in the dragon pit, 3 members from both teams are still staring at each other and zoning each other away from the pit. Zeus gets snared by Chovy's Everfrost, and he gets jumped on by Peanut, but this is actually a blessing in disguise for T1. Now, Guma and Keria can safely poke down Peanut, and he gets punished for it and flashes away with 1 HP. Meanwhile, Doran is also running for his life, and now, Gen G find themselves grouped and vulnerable, while T1 are striking from 2 angles. Keria's light binding kills Peanut and snares Paze, forcing Paze to cleanse and dash away with Gale Force. Keria's Lux E and Guma's Gale Force gets massive poke onto Gen G, and with the low health bars, the rest of T1 knows it's time to chase down Gen G. Faker kills Doran with Flash Cassante W, and already, Keria looks to wrap around and corner Gen G. Chovy and Paze do what they can to fight back against T1, but they are outnumbered and have to retreat. Keria throws an unexpected Lux ult from behind, and along with Zeus and Guma, the 3 of them close in on Chovy and Paze, killing both of them for Zeus. This results in a 4-for-1 trade for T1. In the late game, T1 are kings of positional teamfighting, and finding the best moments to punish their opponents for being out of position. Let's take a look at Game 4 of T1 vs KT in the recent playoffs match. At 31.5 minutes into the game, Baron and Dragon are both up soon, and both teams have a lot of poke, and not many tanks. As a result, both teams are aiming quite early and trying to land poke on each other. Pyosik gets a bowling ball onto Zeus and Guma and threatens an engage with Lilia ult. But Guma flashes to safety while Keria uses Mikhail's on Zeus. BDD and Perfect try to chase Keria and they burn his flash. Here, KT are torn about starting Baron. They know that T1 is low and down 2 flashes, but they are also wary about the dangers of doing Baron against T1's poke. KT starts Baron, and Owner, as the only tank on T1, is tasked to face check and gain vision of Baron. Owner stuns Perfect with Sejuani ult, and the poke follow-up from T1 is enough to force KT to retreat and concede Baron control. Now, T1 thinks they can start Baron and punish KT for being low. Guma sets up 3 Caitlyn traps with a Baron choke, making it incredibly hard for KT to walk in and contest Baron. Barrel eats a Caitlyn trap headshot, and with so many low members, KT's only fighting chances are a Baron steal. Lilia E gets vision of Baron's HP, and Pyosik flashes in and steals it. But despite getting Baron stolen, T1 knows that they're in a position of power in this 5v4, and they look to chase down KT to kill everyone and remove all Baron buffs. Keria pops Aurelius and uses the rest of his mana to zone KT with Lux E. Then, Faker and Owner play on a knife's edge, with Faker flashing forward, then Eing to safety, and Owner soaking just enough damage and queuing to safety. Then, Guma arrives and lands a Q onto BDD, and finally, Zeus flashes forward to kill BDD, trading his life for 2 kills. Barrel is also killed by Guma's ace in the hole. And with 4 KT members dead, T1 gets a miraculous win from what started as a tragic Baron steal. In Game 3 of T1 vs KT in the regular season, Beryl is looking to make a play onto Faker in the side lane. But since he was in vision, Faker easily escapes, and Keria sets up in the Baron pit for a Lux snare comboed with poke from Owner and Guma to kill Beryl. T1 then immediately start Baron to force KT to fight a 4v5. Perfect TP's mid, and KT are scrambling to get in position to fight. T1 melts Baron very quickly with DPS from Faker and Guma, and once Baron gets low, Zeus flashes and uses Constante W to knock Pyosik away, and this allows Owner to get an easy smite onto Baron. But knowing T1, they are not done yet. They are not satisfied with just the Baron buff, and they will squeeze the most value out of any situation. Here, T1 recognizes that KT should be dead. If played correctly, T1 thinks that they can kill everyone. Zeus uses Cassante ult on Pyosik, and Keria follows up the aggression with Flash Lux Q, which forces Deft to use Flash, while BDD jumps over the wall with Jay's Hammer Q. Without hesitation, Owner, Faker, and Guma all jump over the Baron wall with their basic abilities to continue the chase. And while Perfect traps Keria with Mordekaiser ult, Owner, Faker, and Guma have their eyes on Zeus to help him win the 1v2, and they kill Pyosik and BDD with Owner's aggression. Meanwhile, Perfect gets a kill on Keria, but he gets chased down by Faker, resulting in 3 kills for 1 on top of the Baron. Lately, we have been seeing very passive scaling comps, with Smolder and Nasus being the biggest offenders. But we can always count on T1 for drafting high-octane compositions, relying on the narrowest of win conditions, such as Caitlyn Lux. What other team compositions do you think are T1 staples that you want me to analyze? Let me know down in the comments. If you like analytical content like this, please hit a like and subscribe button for more. I also have a Discord server where you can chat it with me and other analytical viewers. The link is in the description below. Take care and see you in the next video.